traits a brilliant, I would say brilliant salesperson should have?
This is a desi term, sales वाले के अंदर चुल होनी चाहिए. If you don't have that hunger, you don't have that spark, you don't have that I want to do this, I will do this, sales is not for you. Go do marketing, customer support. There are a lot of fields that are made for people where you have your work-life balance, like you're not seeking security. But say if you're in sales, you always need to be that person who's always ignited.
Hi everyone, I am Mokshita and today we are joined by a founder who has scaled startups, mentored teams and probably survived more business meetings than a caffeinated Zoom calls. Apart from that, he has a very strong and interesting background on sales. So definitely he would be giving a lot of insights, amazing insights. So with that note, please welcome the founder and CEO of the Finicky, Tushar Bansal. Hi Tushar.
Hi Mokshita.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you, by the way?
I'm well, thanks for asking.
So, Tushar, please tell a little bit about yourself to our audience.
Okay, so I am just a regular individual who did not choose sales. Sales chose me. And it's been an incredible journey. Again, all learning. And again, understanding that you are not self-made. It's all the people around you who make you what you are. And from that standpoint, it's like I am, if I would want to just explain myself, I am a lot of stories and interesting ones, basically.
Okay. So, Tushar, I've noticed that you're pretty much active upon LinkedIn. So, is there any strategy or it is more like spontaneous?
On LinkedIn, see, rather than scrolling reels on Instagram, I do that too. But LinkedIn is kind of where I learn from people, and then there are people who give like some strategies where I feel I can add upon to, and sometimes it's just like for fun, because scrolling a social media platform which is professional, sometimes just adding a pun to it, or maybe just some funny story like the recent one that I just added, that whenever you are in stress, just have
Golgappe.
It's just like somebody who's professionally scrolling just looks at it and I feel that they might smile. So that's where it's like I'm active on LinkedIn for myself and just to add to the information.
Okay. What do you think, like what kind of content works well for you upon LinkedIn?
To be honest, I never have posted anything in terms of content that should work for me. Rather, what I personally feel is that whatever your thoughts are, be it independent, because I'll tell you, this is a very interesting story. So at a point, I used to post something which used to put me in a situation, and I was working in a job at that time. So my HR called me and she's like, Tushar, everything is okay. You've posted something on LinkedIn. Is it like this or that? I'm like, no, all these posts that I post on LinkedIn are Enigma. Now, Enigma is a code that you only decode to relate or go back to the situation you were at that time. Yeah. So the post that I did at that time was just to realize, like, whenever in the future I'll look at this post again, I'll be able to relive this moment. So that's like kind of that relationship with me, like with LinkedIn.
Okay. Now I'm getting the concept for the LinkedIn post. All right, let's talk about Finicky. So the name Finicky, I found it very unique. So what is the specific meaning of Finicky?
That's an interesting one. So generally what happens is people relate Finicky in a negative term. That, oh, this guy is Finicky, I don't want to talk to him. But if you actually realize that being Finicky is like being very particular about something. So yes, the term hits me correctly. I am particular. If I'm particular about something, I'm very particular about something. That's why the term the Finicky. And that is exactly what is required when we talk about sales and marketing. And the main reason also that I started this firm is that a lot of people who want to just rush away from this field, I am the one who wants to be there, hustle. It is hard, it is difficult, but at the same time, when you get results, it's most rewarding. There is no more fun in achieving things where people are trying their best, but they're failing or they're choosing different paths. I am here. I would say that I'm still hustling, but yes, hustling is the fun. So the Finicky means where small things that people avoid doing, I want to correct them. And that's what the Finicky has been doing so far, and I hope it keeps doing the same.
Okay. So what makes Finicky stand out, as you mentioned?
See, I don't want to boast about myself, but the Finicky stands out because I am someone who just not only delegates but personally takes interest in every project that I have taken up.
Okay.
I am not like that, oh, all right, this is the modus operandi, you do this. No. It gives me personal pleasure to get into the skin and get into the game. And that thing I think makes it stand out, because I've seen a lot of people working in the same industry, but they prefer delegating because they're doing business. I take it emotionally. Anybody who knows me knows how emotional I am as an individual. So it's like every new project is like a challenge for me, and I love winning it.
All right, let's talk about challenges then. Any challenge you have come across recently?
Yeah. So challenges are very common. It's like people don't have patience.
Yeah.
People
that's
talk
true.
about setting up sales, and then they're like, will we be able to complete it in 3 months or 6 months? No, it depends upon what are you doing, where are you targeting, what are the niches, what's your product, is it sellable, is it not, how much effort is going to take. So it takes a toll on me to literally feed patience to people, because sales is all about persistence and perseverance. You need to be there and make sure that you're dealing with different problems every day. The time you're hitting with the same problem, it's a bottleneck.
Yeah.
But the moment you start dealing with different problems, I'll give you an example. Say, for example, you set up an outbound strategy. Now that outbound strategy, first of all, the first problem is getting people on the call for introducing your company. All right, you got people on the call, you introduced them, you told them this, your services. Now they're interested. The next problem, you don't have documentation. So that's a new problem to deal. And so whenever in the process where you're dealing with new problems every day, that's a good problem to have, but people don't understand it. So that's, from my perspective, progress. That if we're through this milestone, or if we're through this phase, we are dealing with a new problem. That means we are progressing.
Okay.
These are type of challenges that I face, that I need to feed patience to people.
As a founder, what kind of challenge you face?
As a founder,
since you started this thing, your company, so what problems came while setting up?
that's also an interesting story. I'll tell you. When I wanted to, so I kind of decided to quit. I was very happy in the job I was. Amazing company. I would say people outgrew, and the platform was brilliant.
Okay.
But it was 6 years, 2 months for me in the same company. And I think that type of commitment is more than enough to justify my part or contribution. And I did decently good in the company. And obviously the love that me and the founders shared were equal. But I wanted to kind of explore what I can do individually. So I had no plans, no ideas what I'll do. And literally the call that I had was when I wanted to quit, is that I have no plans. It is just like I'm flying in a plane. I just want to jump out of it. I don't care even if I have a parachute or not. I'll figure it out my way down. And 9th of February, I registered my company's domain. I created my website. And for the first 3 months, literally I did not reach out to anybody. What I did was I started involving myself into productive work. I started writing blogs by myself. Till then, ChatGPT was not there.
Okay.
So I started writing blogs. I built my own website through like GoDaddy and all. And it was fun. I was enjoying these 3 months. I knew I have no revenue flowing in, but luckily the gratuity and the PF that I got from my company was good for the mileage for a good 3-6 months.
Okay.
But for the first 3 months, I was just being productive. I was not panicking. I was not putting stress on my head that, oh, I don't have any plan. I was like, I'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah. And that's the attitude that I've been with from the beginning. Then it was like, okay, I am not reaching out to anybody. And I have zero idea about like what am I going to do. I started thinking of my network in terms of the people that I've worked with, that they're working in different companies. Why not do partnerships?
Okay.
So I reached out to the people that I worked with, and I told them that sign me up as a partner.
Okay.
And I was onboarded as a partner. From where, so there was this CRM company where I was a partner, where one of the the person that I was connected with told me that there are a lot of people who come here not for the CRM but sales enablement. So as a partner, if you can enable sales and utilize our CRM, I was like nothing like it. So I did not have to go to anybody for clients. Now those guys started pushing me people where I was enabling their sales and making sure I'm enriching their tool.
Okay.
Worked well, and there was the first where I got my jump start. So there was one company from based out of Bangalore. They were into remote medical devices. A pretty reputed company, established from 2010. Struggling again, the same thing: sales, marketing, reach outs, new clients. So we tried our level best and delivered substantial amount of people that they got connected to, even got government people connected, like good stuff. So that's where we got that nag and it started. So I had no plan in my head. I just jumped off the plane without a parachute, but I figured it out before I.
Yeah, that was more like a strategic approach.
Kind
This
of.
persona of being fearless.
Or you can say, I always keep saying this thing: when the time is right, the time is right. If the time is not right, you put 110%. I'd say. If the time is not right, nothing will happen.
Nothing
And when
will
the
happen.
time is right,
Yeah.
so at that time, it's like you'll think that, oh, maybe I just got lucky. No, you did not get lucky. It's just the receiving end of you of the hard work that you did in the past. This happens. I'll tell you, if I may. So what happens is a lot of salespeople burn themselves out, literally burn themselves out, thinking of I need this sale, and the moment they lose faith and they're like, now nothing's gonna happen. Out of the blue, this happened with me as well. Whenever I used to chase for a sale, it never used to come. But when I was completely hopeless, out of the blue, I used to get an email with a signed contract that let me know what are the next steps. And it used to be like, oh, I just got lucky. But that was not the case. That was the fruit of my hard
sales
work.
people can relate.
Exactly.
सो राइट, हम सेल्स पर तो आ ही चुके हैं, ठीक है. एंड तुषार हमारे साथ, हम सेल्स की बात ना करें, ऐसा हो नहीं सकता. सो तुषार, आई जस्ट वांट टू आस्क, what are the traits a brilliant, I would say brilliant salesperson should have?
See, I'll be very honest. So this is a desi term. Sales वाले के अंदर चुल होनी चाहिए.
चुल होनी चाहिए.
If you don't have that hunger, you don't have that spark, you don't have that I want to do this, I will do this, sales is not for you. Go do marketing, customer support. There are a lot of fields that are made for people where you have your work-life balance, you're happy, there's no you're not seeking security. But say if you're in sales, you always need to be that person who's always ignited. If you call me 2:30 at night also, you will find me with the same energy.
Okay.
I told you that I woke up today at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
But I don't feel drowsy. My eyes might look a little swollen, but I'm still full of energy. So sales is for people who've got energy, and obviously they know how to channelize that energy. Because I've been into places in my own life where full of energy, no direction, chaos.
Chaos.
So you need to channelize your energy and ensure that you're putting it into right places.
Okay.
A good salesperson is a person who doesn't need motivation. He's self-motivated. In fact, sometimes you have to pull him slow.
So we can't expect work-life balance in sales.
The point is, if you're expecting work-life balance, it is upon you. A good salesperson creates his own work-life balance. He's happy working. When I talk about myself, when I started working, Fridays were the time where people used to be very happy. And I was like, oh my God, it's Saturday, Sunday, what will I do? Initially, I used to drive from my house to the office. Any and every company, I still remember these, you would have seen these trucks, AMW trucks. They're written.
Okay.
So I was like, I will reach out to this company today. Toyota, I'll reach out to Toyota. Random things. I'm reaching out to their CEOs, experimenting, thinking, maybe what if it's the big shot. All right, nothing happened, and for that matter, I'll tell you.
Mention.
I'll tell you. So I was like in love with this car called Kia Stinger.
Okay.
I have emailed the founder of Kia that the first Kia Stinger that you bring to India is going to be on my name. I don't know when it is going to come, but I've emailed him, and I still have that email. I am like, no matter how much you price it, I will make sure that I am the first one to purchase it, and I want this email to be framed with this.
So you didn't get any reply?
No. In sales, if you have less expectations, the better for you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people are like, how do you handle disappointments? How do you handle disappointments? You walk away?
Okay. So do you think people avoid salespeople?
I would say if there are two salespeople together as friends, trust me, they're best friends. Otherwise, yes. I've seen people who are in sales, so there's a healthy competition and then there's a envious competition where, so a healthy competition is where you want to do more. And an envious competition is where you want to put the other person down. So that is where you find the difference between the relationships of salespeople. Otherwise, salespeople are jolly people, happy people, excited people, optimists, eternal optimists.
No, I'm talking about the customers. So one is there is direct selling and one is indirect selling. What a customer would prefer more?
I'll tell you. The actual meaning with this, I keep repeating. You start selling when you stop selling. Don't sell.
Don't sell.
Because the point is, if you start selling, it's like there are thousands of people who are selling. You don't sell. You understand. There's a word empathy, like we were discussing. Empathy, you go Google, you'll find the meaning of it. But you are not able to, if you're not able to understand, and I've seen people talking about empathy, but they don't actually understand what empathy is. Empathy is like that, okay, you're not selling a customer something. You first, like for example, you're profiling a customer. You're stalking them basically, that they went to so-and-so event and all, and you pick up a call and you simply ask, hey, Jay, how was the event? I saw that you attended it, this and that. So now you're creating that path. You're not selling. Then he'll ask, how are you calling? A lot of stories like that. So, coming back to your question, is it like how are customers? Obviously, customers run away from salespeople. If only you are a salesperson. And
if you sound salesy.
And currently or recently, there was this post that people are talking about that why have you started changing sales position as business development or a lot of different terms. Nobody wants to use sales because, in fact, people run from sales as a job because they're like, oh, sales, too much pressure. This is all charade, all fugazi. In sales, there's no pressure if you are willing to give your 100%. And I would say a good salesperson, again, I'll tell you my example. So I had I had no shift timings because my founders were like, you bring us results, do whatever you want to do.
Okay.
I used to work for 2 hours, but I knew that 2 hours are more than enough for me to do my job. Get $100,000 a month, I'm good to go.
Okay.
I used to do that, and what happened was the rest of the time I used to play table tennis, foosball, pool, whatnot, roam around here and there. So, in fact, now I understand I was spoiling the environment because other people were also thinking maybe he's doing all of this, like he's playing all the time, that's why he's able to close. Few people started doing that and they got fired. But that is exactly where one of my co-founder called me in his cabin and said, dude, we understand you're doing well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that time I was very young and I couldn't understand it. I was like, okay, you're getting results? Okay, let me do what I am doing. There were no shift timings for me. I was the only one who was like the privileged one.
Okay.
I would say it. And again, in terms of my results also, I understood my responsibilities well. And to basically, this is also an interesting story. So I used to work as an individual contributor and they started building teams. I was the one who used to always run away from building my own team. And at that time, I was given the heaviest P&L. You understand, how do you control chaos? By putting that chaos into responsibilities. So they hired people from IIT, IIM, XIMB, Norsi, Munji, whatnot colleges, all MBAs. So I am a postgraduate mass communication student from Punjab University.
Okay.
And now these guys are in my team suddenly overnight. Like for the first time, I was under this trauma. These guys are MBAs. How will I handle them? They know more than me. But then when I talked to them, I was like, okay, these guys are freshers. They're like newbies, and generally they're like clay. I need to shape them in the way they want to be. So I had no idea on how to train a team initially. So what I did was, so I thought this is like a cool move, because if I'll go and simply say that I don't know how to train a team, would be like kind
Would
of
not sound
awkward.
very, yeah.
So what I did was, I used to go and sit in the conference room and tell the entire team to sit around me. And I used to start working. So I was working for them, they had to learn. So that was the learning phase, but I was doing my job, because at the end of the day, nobody is coming and asking me,
Yeah.
what did you train them? I am working, I need numbers at the end of the month. At the same time, their mindset is, ki you learn from me. Pick the points that you like, pick the points that you don't. And then I did it for good 7-10 days, and then I had a meeting. Now tell me, what did you learn? So there's a term that I always keep repeating. I won't say there are no good teachers. There might be good teachers, but generally no good teachers, only good students. Because if the teachers are good, everybody would top. So it is upon how good a student you are.
Yeah.
So that practice, everybody started telling me that, okay, so you start your call like this, you do this, you do that. I'm like, okay, so you guys are noticing. Then the funniest part is, I opened the map on this bigger screen, and I started sharing them, like I'm setting up the geography, because I was just talking to Krishna that when I started a job, you learn a job. My job was not like I wanted to do a job. It was just like I took a sabbatical from my father's business, and I told him that I just want to understand how a job works. So I'll just work in a job for 3 months. So when I entered a job, it was like for me that I was learning on somebody else's expenses, and I was still getting paid for it. So that is where my entire geography was sorted, because earlier Mexico was in Russia, Brazil was in Africa for me.
Okay.
And then now you understand, there are things that you might not know, but when you have to know it, you are amazed. You talk to me about country codes. I know country code. I know currencies. I know price parity. And these are those things that you will not go Google by yourself, because there are questions that you don't know. How will you find the answers for?
Definitely.
So that's where I took them and I showed them the map, that clear geographies up.
Yeah.
And then I started sharing the time zone things, like small things, so that I should also feel that yes, I am actually training these resources. So it was like a good time. And now that guy who was only working for 2 hours was now working for those 5 people and was working for 14 to 16 hours.
Okay.
So I had a team of 3 guys and 2 girls, and whenever it was late, like post 10, so I used to make sure that I took this responsibility to drop them at their place, because they were overworking by themselves as well. That I feel that when you're overworking, you're not overworking. Don't glorify it that you're overworking. You're enjoying it. Or you're putting more efforts because you want to see results. So that's where work-life balance, if a salesperson is looking for work-life balance, go to customer support. Your job is safe, you're helping people, be happy.
So coming back to your empathy point, there's one more term in sales, that is storytelling. So people usually don't understand that. So what's your take on it?
So there's a very, very popular phrase that says, people tell, stories sell.
Okay.
So when you're relating to the stories of it, so I'll tell you. So when I used to have my own clients, like earlier in the company as well, now this was one thing that my founder noticed, and then there was a town hall when he mentioned this thing, that this guy, he would even know his client's pet's name, his wife's name. And I literally realized that yes, because I was able to relate to a lot of stories, and I used to talk to my clients like bros. Every client that I had was my bro. And literally, the major clients that I had, I literally know their wife's name, and even the second wife's name as well, and the kids and their pets and all, everything, because it was like for my interest. But eventually, I realized that what happens is, you're talking to somebody and they're sharing their experience. Now you can utilize their experience. Say somebody in South Africa, he's telling something locally happening. Now you're sharing their story and talking to somebody else in South Africa and telling them his experience. So basically you're buying their story and sharing there. It's like building connection. That guy can completely relate to you as a localite. So it's like you're bartering like stories. So that's like a major chunk of things. So people say soft talk is important. Now a lot of people think soft talks are, hey, how's the weather? How's the weather? You can Google it.
Yeah.
So it's like another thing. A lot of people, like, this is a very common term. Think out of the box. Out of the box. Why think out of the box? First, complete what's inside the box. Inside the box are the simplest things that people miss. And genuinely, when we talk about these things, it's like I see people making general common mistakes. That when you're calling somebody where you're not able to like pronounce somebody's name, Google it, pronounce a name correctly, because a name is very important for anybody. If somebody is not pronouncing my name correctly, you're ruined. Your reputation is ruined in front of me in the first place.
One would lose his interest.
So correct. And small things like, say, a lot of people use hey, HEY in the email, which is a very informal way to approach. It's either hi or hello in a professional environment.
Okay.
Then if you're using somebody's, like if you're using Mr., Doctor, any salutation, you always use the second name. And people goof up there as well. If you're using the first name, make sure the first alphabet is capital. Like very, very tiny things that people miss upon. And that is like, I'm like, clear your basics. So there are a lot of experienced people that I see making mistakes, which is okay. They're making mistakes, but when they miss on the basics is where I kind of feel they need to work upon themselves.
Okay. But how do you come up with building that personal connection? It doesn't mean like you're calling and saying, hey, how's the weather?
So that is exactly what comes naturally.
Okay.
So I'll tell you, you need to have knowledge. Say,
Definitely.
now I'll give you that example that I was talking to you about, that Louisiana guy, that I was New Orleans, not Louisiana, New Orleans. So I was talking to this guy and I asked him about his business vertical, like business idea. While he was talking, I already knew that what his business idea was. While he was talking, I am Googling what's happening in New Orleans. So I saw that there's a Mercedes Dome there. I checked what are the upcoming events in the Mercedes Dome. So fortunately, there was this Guns N' Roses concert.
Okay.
All right, now I have something to localize. So the moment he was done with explaining his business idea, now first of all, before starting the soft talk or the small talk, I asked him that, I basically made him understand his business idea, got the affirmation that yes, this is exactly what his business idea is, and he was happy because now the problem in sales is salespeople don't listen. They wait when they get this time to speak and they're just talking. But a good salesperson has good ears as well, which I did not have earlier, but now I have. So when I explained to him his business idea, he gave me a heads up. Then I was like, all right, so where is your office in New Orleans exactly? So he told me this, as if I know every street of New Orleans. So I randomly asked him, so how far is that Mercedes Dome from your office? He got so excited that he opened the window. Literally, I could hear it. I was on an audio call. But he opened the window and he was like, oh, it's just here in front of my office, just in front of my office. So I just cooked up a story that I'll tell you an irony that I had 3 premium VIP tickets for Guns N' Roses concert and in September. And I couldn't come because of some emergency. So I had to give it to my cousins. And that guy went bonkers. That 15-minute call, which was a business discussion call, went to 1 hour, 30 minutes call, and we are talking about Guns N' Roses, we're talking about New Orleans, we're talking about Mercedes Dome, we're talking about why I couldn't come, this and that, and then he became my brother.
Oh wow.
2 days later, he closed a $60,000 deal.
That's the power.
So that's like the power of knowledge. You need to, if you want to build a relationship, have a knowledge about the local place. It's like, I'm not saying that you make up things. It's about how you want to initiate and continue the conversation. If you actually want to build relationship, my task there was not to just sell him. My task was there to add him into my circle as a person, as a client, obviously, but as a friend. And every client is still connected with me on social media. We keep talking to each other. How's their life going on? So it's like you have a very small lifespan. The more relationships you build, the better it is. You never know who comes where to help or assist, or maybe where you can help somebody. And I do help a lot of people. They come to me, I need this, I need that. I do pro bonos, like I do it for free for them because they've built a good connection with me. So that's how you build. If you think like that, okay, how can I build relationship with him? That's not how it works. You localize. You make him feel familiar. Or say, you basically need to find the pointers where you can connect.
Basically, do a proper research work to whom you're targeting to.
Correct.
Okay, so you are a consultant right now, and जितनी भी companies हैं, obviously you have noticed कि किस तरह के वो mistakes कर रहे हैं sales में. So any kind of mistakes you think that most of the companies make in sales?
For that also, I have a story.
Okay, please come up with the story.
So there was this company based out of Bangalore, IT company, well-established firm, super marketing. I would say they were getting 25 to 30 leads per day through inbound.
Inbound.
Yeah. So the founder reached out to me that I need to set up something where I can actually monitor things properly. And I don't know how to expand. There are some hiccups if you can help. I told him to set up a meeting with your sales and marketing team. And we had a meeting. Marketing was brilliant.
Okay.
Proper keywords, PPC, everything which should be like that, up to the mark. Quality leads. I had a meeting with the sales team.
Okay.
I asked them what is their modus operandi, how do they process, what is their process. So the sales team was like, we get all these leads, we shoot an email to all the leads.
Okay.
Only the ones who respond us back, we set up a meeting and then we continue. And then I was like, what about the rest of the leads? Any follow-ups and all? They're like, no, they're all junk. And I was like, okay, and how long it's been like this way? It was 2 years. I'm like, you're wasting like
so
many leads, like treasure, gold. And I was like, why don't you guys call? Why don't you identify the mode of communication? Because now in sales, it is very important to match the mode of communication which is preferred by the client, not by you. A lot of people prefer WhatsApp. A lot of people say iPhone. If there's an iPhone, they're active on iMessages. Earlier it used to be Skype, but now it's Telegram. So you identify the right mode of communication and connect to their preferred mode of communication. So it is very important to make sure that you're maximizing the mode of communications that you're creating. And in case of outbound, the major mistake that companies do are that they are telling the salespeople make 200 calls, send 250 emails. Like that's total junk. You don't need to focus on the quantitative KPIs. Yes, quantity is important, but you don't give KPIs like 200 calls. Otherwise, salesperson is like 200 dials, not a problem. They'll keep dialing 200 calls. Oh, we are done for the day. That's not what you do. What you do is, if you actually want effective sales, you tell them, I need 5 good conversations a day. I am not asking for closures. I'm asking just 5 good conversations a day. And if it's your lucky day, you dial the first 5 numbers, you're free in the first hour, your work is done.
Yeah.
You're through. But in case you have to dial 500 calls a day to get that 5 conversations per day, dial 500 or 1000, I don't care. So if you give qualitative KPIs to people, they will follow, they will not have in mind that I need to just dial. If you say, I'll give you an example, I tell you dial 200 numbers, I need that dialing. You will just focus that, okay, please don't pick up, I need to complete my 200. But if I tell you that you need to talk to 5, you need to have a good conversation with 5 people, just introduce our company and just get them like interested to know more. And for that 5 conversations, every time you're going to dial a call, you would manifest that please pick up the call. I want to introduce my company. So that's the difference between quantitative KPIs and qualitative KPIs. So that's a major mistake people are missing out on. Like the KPIs are all distorted everywhere. And this is not just 1, 2, 3. Majority of the companies I see today are making the same mistakes, and then they're like, why are we not scaling?
Definitely. As if someone if I were to make 200 calls a day, I would definitely lack my team spirit and that spirit to, work for my company. So
Initially, you'll do it because dialing 200 calls is not that big of a task.
I would take it as a job only, as a part of my job.
Exactly.
That is the thing. But okay, you mentioned that they did proper marketing. And being from a marketing background, I know marketing helps in sales. Does sales also help in marketing?
See, I have this thought process that marketing and sales should always be fighting.
Okay.
Marketing should always audit that the leads that are being brought in by them because they're also working hard. So marketing should always keep a check that is the sales team doing justice to it, and the sales team should always fight with the marketing that if they're not getting good quality leads. So very basic things. Now if I ask you about a term, so there's a term called junk and misfit.
Junk and
Misfit.
misfit.
These two are terms for a lead. Now, this is basic. A junk lead is that you got a lead, you called the guy, and he's a cab driver. He knows nothing about what your company is doing. But on the same note, you're dialing a guy who showed interest, and he knows about what you guys do. But for some circumstances, maybe his budget doesn't allow, or maybe he was just exploring. He is a misfit.
Okay.
Now, the difference between junk and misfit is junk is where your campaigns are maybe going on the wrong direction. You're not able to target the right set of audience. But in case of misfit, it's a MQL. So MQL is marketing qualified lead and SQL is sales qualified lead. So marketing always should always take care of the MQLs. Even if you're having misfits, at least you're reaching out to the right audience and the audience is able to understand what you guys do.
Okay.
So misfit is not junk, it's an MQL. So that means your campaigns are on the right way. But people confuse it. They put misfits into junk.
Okay.
Or junk into misfits.
Let's take one hypothetical situation. Suppose there's a company with good, who has zero budget in marketing. I was saying good, zero budget in marketing. So would they be able to make their sales?
Definitely. Right now, I'll tell you. When I start setting up any company's sales and marketing, I start with pure outbound. Because now what happens is with outbound, you're basically telling the resource the cost of one lead from inbound. Because now they're hounding, dialing numbers just to get person interested and get him on a call for introduction of the company. And that is where they understand that whenever the inbound is going to start, they're going to start getting leads, people who are interested, they will value that lead. And with the outbound, you'll have hiccups, you'll goof up, you'll set up your pitch, you'll tone down. It's like you're breaking, making and finalizing. You're toning yourself through outbound. So when you know that you've got an inbound, you know how to cater to those leads. So you start with outbound, no marketing budget, reaching out to people. If your product is a right fit, or it is something that can be sold, you reach out to people. Obviously, if not directly a sale, at least you're building a Rolodex. Okay. You're building a pipeline, which if not immediate engagement, for future you're building a pipeline where you can follow up and people convert.
So what's the biggest deal you ever cracked?
Well, now that's an interesting one. I would say the biggest deal I've cracked is opening my own company. That's for sure. But yeah, according to your question, when I was in a job, this is again a very interesting story. So there is this term called incomplete sign-up, where when somebody comes on your website, fills up the form, but doesn't submit it. So we had a system which still used to capture whatever you've added. Okay. So I got an incomplete sign-up, but a domain lead. So when you have a domain lead, you don't have their number, you research, you don't get the number directly. So I sent few emails, like 4 or 5 emails I sent, I did not get any response. So what I did was, this was again the actual part, that I created an email and I just simply wrote, I knew it is from Saudi. I just wrote him a text that I tried calling you on this number, +971 so, random number, but couldn't connect. In 30 minutes, I got a response that no, this is not my number is so and so. I was happy that this worked.
Got the number.
I got the number. I called that guy. He asked me a couple of questions. I explained it to him. It was a Tuesday. I still remember. So these guys from Tuesday we had a call. Thursday morning, these guys were in the office from Saudi. They flew from Saudi and came to the office. Very big group. Now I had this curiosity that okay, these guys are genuinely in need. And the urgency is there.
Yeah.
That's why Tuesday to Thursday, Saudi to
Long travel.
Chandigarh.
Yeah.
And the funny part was that the clients are sitting in the conference room and having that code review, etc., etc. And I'm sitting with my co-founder outside, talking about what should we quote. And I just simply said, let's quote $500,000. Now my co-founder like, are you sure? I mean, let's put it.
Yeah.
Either way, we'll have to negotiate. So we added 500K and we submitted the proposal. Now we are sitting and me and my co-founder looking at each other, presenting the proposal. The pre-sales guy, there was this guy, so he was presenting the proposal on the TV screen. And we were just waiting for the last page because on the last page there was only one line written, the cost of so and so is $500,000. The moment arrived, heartbeats pounding.
Yeah.
Moment arrived, they saw it. The moment they saw it, 10 seconds barely, they closed their laptops, they kept them in their bag, stood there, shook hands, and then left the conference room outside, and I went to see them off.
They didn't say anything.
Didn't say a word. So the guy who was my connection came back to me, shook my hand, and just said, remember, everything happened because of you. And I was totally blank. What's going to happen? Okay. They went back. And now I am hesitating. Should I call? Should I not? Should I wait? So I skipped one day. Second day, when I got no response, I did a soft follow-up. Hope your journey went well. You reached safe, this and that. Didn't get any response. And I'm like, okay, now we've lost. But Friday, I think it was Monday. Monday, I got an email. Let's finalize whatever we have to, this and that, and let's negotiate on the terms. I was a super happy person in the room. And now what's happening is, this was like the biggest closure.
That's a huge amount.
Yeah. So like a one-shot deal, like a biggest closure in terms of one deal type of thing. So now we are discussing, like my founders and we are sitting and we are having a call where what happened is that they said that they have a budget of $300,000 for the product.
Okay.
So now here I have the pressure that we don't want to lower our pricing because I am a sales guy. I want to maximize. And obviously the founders are happy that we are getting good deals. So they were also okay in like that amount.
So they were satisfied, but you were not.
I was not.
Okay.
And they also had this pressure because I was standing there.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I had a very, very good bond with my founders. So they also used to be a little, like you can say they used to consider my thoughts. So now one of the co-founder was like, let's do one thing. We'll give it to you in so and so amount, but you give us a retainer for minimum 6 months of around 110K.
Okay.
So overall deal from $500,000 that I thought went up to 1.7 million overall. And that was like, and for that, I'll tell you the funny part here is, for that, my founder threw a party for the entire sales and marketing team in social. Like, it was like I was the king of the world at that time. That my company is getting a treat on my name, on my thing. And
very interesting.
Crazy. That was a very crazy moment. I have got a lot of crazy moments like that in the company. Every time there was something, every quarter, something or the other I used to bring up, which was very exciting. I have always been an eternal optimist. And the funny part is, once I'll tell you now, my founder, we are having this director meeting. My founder is like, Tushar, go grab a paper and pen, because I have a habit of talking parallel.
Okay.
So he's like, go grab a pen and paper. I am like, okay. I thought he might be telling me something to note down. He's like, write F. I'm like, okay. And like, oh, okay. Then he's like, C. Then he's like, Pi. Right focus, keep it in front of you. Literally, I did it. It worked. That's where I mentioned that when you have high energy, you need to know how to channelize it in the right way. Otherwise, it's all chaos.
Yeah. And that too only happened with that email and that strategy of that wrong number.
Yes.
So, how did your experience in sales shape your approach to business consulting?
That's a good question. So, sales just doesn't only teaches you sales. It teaches you relationships. It teaches you a lot of things. And while I was thinking, because my only core purpose to start the Finicky was to basically correct the basics of the companies where they're lagging. I see a lot of companies with very high potential. Their products are brilliant, everything is good, but when they lack on the basics, which is again, sales is driving force of any company. Like you can say it's the engine, it is running the company. So
Definitely.
so it's like, on that note, I just remember that we used to have a internal group that used to be called Bhukha Bediya. And that is fact. So when the companies are lacking on the basics, I feel sad for them. And genuinely telling, I am a very emotional person in person. So I had this intent to help companies.
Okay.
I'm somebody who's not running after money. I'm happy with whatever I earn because I'm a very spendthrift person. I whenever I want something, I just go and buy it.
Okay.
So, but still, I don't run for money. I run for value. If I am working with somebody, I am not able to yield result, I'll keep working tirelessly. Generally, how I work is, so I have a quarterly contract. But if I see that in a quarter, we are not able to come to a substantial position that where we should be, I don't mind extending that absolutely at no additional cost, because that is something that I take as a challenge personally. But I want to make sure that if I am doing something, I will have to prove it.
Okay.
So that's exactly where the thought of consulting businesses came into picture. I generally say that my company is basically the IVF for businesses.
Okay.
I'll help you make babies.
So, if you notice any kind of loophole in a company, how do you diagnose that situation? How do you diagnose the internal or external problem happening?
Now, again, a complex question, but a simple answer. You just talk to people, understand who is doing what. So once you talk to people, you understand what are they doing, you identify who's making the mistake.
But it becomes very difficult, to spot the source of that mistake. Obviously, you have to go through the data and communicate properly.
That's the problem. People start going through the data, this, that. No, first talk to the people.
Communicate.
Correct. Say, for example, sales is not converting. Talk to the salespeople. What are they doing? How are they doing? What are the problems they are facing? Talk to the marketing people. What are the problems they are facing? Talk to the operations. I'll tell you, salespeople will always blame that we are not getting good leads or we are not getting connected to people. Things like that. They have umpteen things. So when you know what the what's, understand the whys. Why are you not able to connect? Say when you're auditing something. Data obviously is important, but primarily talking is very important because once you're talking, the person is telling you something, and then when you dig up data, you then match that what he told, is it really happening, or is it like that he is being complacent and portraying it himself, because a salesperson can defend himself, he can justify anything. So that's where you have to understand data. So whenever there used to be slow months, what I used to do is, I used to go through data. Is it like that genuinely the lead quality is getting low, or is it like the efforts are complete? If the lead quality is good, the efforts are there. Now the efforts is sufficient number of attempts to call, email, connect. If it's there, good enough. Next step, what are they sending in terms of emails? Content.
Okay.
If the efforts are there, if the leads are there, the process is sorted, what is the content that they are sharing? A lot many times this happens that a person is putting all the efforts in the wrong direction. So you work on the content, you help the content to be improvised. If the content is also good, then you identify what if the product is not the right fit. So that's how you basically identify, drill down, and then come to a conclusion. And trust me, the first or second point is only the efforts and the quality. You majority of the time you end up there only. You never get a chance to go on the third part where okay, the efforts are complete, the quality is good. Like I need to check what is the content that is being shared. That never hardly happens. But where I see that the first two are not right, the third thing is not right, the content shared is not the right content.
Okay.
So you drill down, you identify, and then you correct. But most importantly, you first talk to people. You understand from their perspective, and then try to mismatch when you dig data. If you dig data first and then you go and talk to people, then that's a mismatch.
That's
there.
a wrong approach.
Yes.
Okay. So do you think on human level there are some problems?
There are some problems. People are not ready to put efforts.
Yeah.
Trust me, I on an average, if I take around minimum 50 interviews in a month. And what turns me off when I go on a call is, this is like not just for the freshers, but even for the experienced ones that you have an interview scheduled. My first question is, did you go through our website? They're like, no, I didn't get a chance. That's like a no for me. Because when you're going for an interview, you should go look at the website, drill down, understand who's the founder, who are the members of the company, who is doing what. So it's like, as I mentioned in sales also, the more data you have, the more like the better position of strength you have. So at the same time, I remember interviewing a candidate. Brilliant interview. Super crazy. And what was the cherry on the top was when I asked him, so do you have any questions for us? Generally people are all right, what would be my shift time and this and that. That guy ate up all my LinkedIn before the call.
Wow.
And then he's like, I just want to understand in your experience in that diversified roles, this and that, you've been this. So how is that experience? And the moment he asked me this question, the dopamine and the adrenaline rush I had was totally different. I started talking about myself for 30 minutes. And then I realized, dude, this guy is something. So very rare candidates. People now considering Gen Zs, these Gen Zs, I won't blame them as an individuals, but the environment they've brought into is not their fault. It's like we had to facilitate in the times of COVID to initiate work from home. For few, it worked well. For majority, it did not. Because working from home. So I'll relate one more topic here. Why do you think we are being sent to school? We can be homeschooled.
Yeah.
Why are we sent to school? To learn ethics, to learn to socialize.
Be in that environment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you go to the office, trust me, you might be working harder when you're working at home. But you go to office to socialize, to like clear your mind. You never get burnouts in the office. You go talk to 4 people. You listen to their stories. It's like that atmosphere that builds the entire environment. So these Gen Zs do not understand because they're already adapted to this environment. So that's where sometimes they lag. The people working best from home are the ones who worked really hard in office. And in office, those guys like me, I'll tell you, those guys who worked only 3 hours have been working for 14 hours at home. So it is important for people to bring them to office to understand how the office environment works. But now what happens is, even if somebody is enjoying that atmosphere, every Gen Z has another Gen Z friend who's like, oh, मैं तो chill करता हूँ घर पे आराम से. मेरे को तो कोई, I don't have any disciplinary problem. My work-life balance is sorted.
Yeah.
Then it's like feeding the FOMO to the other one who's very happy going to the office. So that's the peer problem.
Well, it's quite impressive how our conversation is redirected to Gen Z culture from consulting.
This is like general thought.
Yeah. Okay, let's take one more situation. Suppose there are 3 founders. 3 founders ने मिलके company बनाई है, and तीनों अलग-अलग fields हैं. They don't know much about business. For that, they hired a manager, and he got some projects. उसने अच्छे से पूरा work किया, hired a team, and running a team and properly सब कुछ हो रहा है. Like he was the one who built this company. So now they're having a proper revenue system built, and the main part comes, जो 3 founders थे who were not earlier that much interested in the business, अब वो मैनेजर के काम के बीच में आ रहे हैं and the manager is now like not satisfied with the interruption. So इस case में there are clashes being created. For that, do you think a company would need a consultation? And if yes, then how would you consult it? Like how would you diagnose the situation?
Okay, so that brings me to another story. So I'm assuming that all these three founders are like of the same company.
Of the same company, they created it.
And they hired a person for doing something.
Yeah.
And he did set up everything.
Yeah, he did that.
So now, very interesting question, I'll tell you. So now what happens is, out of these three founders, at least one would be sensible enough to ensure that if anybody is interfering, he will ensure that this guy who's running the show in a good way becomes a parallel unit. And anything or anybody wants to do can start fresh. This used to happen. So I was at a point an entrepreneur. So there was this product which was like which couldn't be sold as a independent product. So I was the P&L owner of that product for some time. So this product never saw a sale of more than $3,000 a month.
Okay.
It was a challenge, and it was given to me. And now, obviously, I was hesitant. I had to take care of the tech team to make sure what's the pipeline in terms of development, the marketing, the sales. So initially I thought, so it's like a chatbot. Like you cannot sell chatbot alone. But we had a very, very vast and very unique boutique of products. The first thing I did was I internally sold it.
Okay.
I took permission from the founder that I will give 10% flat commission on every sale of my product. And which will not be included in the deficit commissions, because if the salesperson was not able to reach up to his targets in the first or in the second or third month, the commissions used to see a deficit.
Okay.
So I took a permission that these commissions would not be considered under deficit. If somebody is selling my product, they'll get flat 10% there. So now the entire company is selling my product, even if it is not required. So the first month we closed $33,000. Crazy good. But it was again, if somebody is doing something, you always should have a learning mindset. And I have been blessed with people like these who had this learning mindset and also giving the suggestion mindset that also brought me to that point where I still keep learning. I learn from the freshers. Now all the Gen Zs, even if we are hiring Gen Zs, they teach you, but it's, as I mentioned, you need to be a good student. So they teach me what? They teach me that what's the current mindset of people. I don't want to thopify my mindset on them. I want to learn, adapt and pick up things that I feel make sense and do things accordingly, because they give crazy ideas sometimes. Yeah. So these three founders you should understand about, you should at least have one founder sensible. If all three are goofies, then you should obviously switch your company. Otherwise, majority of the cases, there's only one guy who's that cranky. Otherwise, these founders are not just like founders. These founders are themselves the sales guy. Every founder you'll find of a successful startup is a sales guy.
Yeah.
They understand if something is working good. There is a fact that sometimes when things are monotonously very stagnant, so we call in sales, bhasad is important.
Yeah.
थोड़ा chaos करो, चीजें shake up होती हैं, then they rebuild very well.
But I didn't get my answer. Like what I asked, suppose the three of the founders are not coping up with the manager and now the clashes are happening. Would that company require a consultation on human based? Maybe
I would suggest it would not be of any use.
Okay.
Because if you're not able to resolve an internal conflict, a third party person will not come, because obviously he's not your relative. He is a third party who's being hired, paid money by the founders. He'll obviously take founders' side. He will not try to realign things that way. Rather, he'll waste his time. At the end, he'll justify his timing and then he'll go. It's totally useless. You need to resolve. It's like, it's called na ki ghar ki ladai ghar ke andar hi rehni chahiye.
Yeah.
No third party involved. You just make sure that the communication that you have is clear. You have your conflicts, you put your points You have your points to explain, you put your points, identify where the clash is and resolve if resolvable.
Okay.
No consultant is required, and it should never be appreciated that you are consulting a third party to resolve a clash. You can consult a consultant to understand how it can be better. Like say if you're a founder, you are consulting and you're sharing your thought process that this is how it is going on.
Yeah.
I think it would be better working this way. This is how it is currently working. What do you suggest?
So that is not how consulting works.
Yes.
Okay, on human-based level. So before we wrap up, there is a fun segment called Would You Rather Game. And here I would be giving you two options. You have to pick it one and just analyze and give a proper answer. And there's a possibility I could ask why you chose this option. Okay?
Is it a rapid fire or I
No,
have
no,
my
not
time?
a rapid fire. I would be just giving you two options. You have to choose one.
Okay, I can think it through.
Yeah, please. So first is, would you rather build a new startup from scratch or scale someone else to $1 billion?
Can I answer a subjective answer as well? Or I have to choose the option?
You have to choose the option first.
Because both, for me,
Okay,
both
according
are
to
the
whatever
same.
you feel like.
So it's like build a startup again. That's exactly what I'm doing. My business is about. I'm building startups from scratch all the time. And I'm doing it for others, basically. So it's like both the things is what exactly I'm doing right
So
now.
you won't scale someone's business to billions.
I am scaling people's business. I'm setting up and helping people from scratch as well.
Okay.
So I'm doing both already.
Okay. Would you rather have a small team of A players or a huge team of average performers?
That's a tricky one. See, having a team of A players is like just being complacent because no, these guys are the ones who's going to. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
These guys are the ones who are going to do everything by themselves. I don't have to guide the A players. It's just like I want to sit and relax. I prefer having a huge team of average people so that I can help them. I can actually be of utility.
Okay.
I do not prefer sitting and relaxing. Rather, if I can be of utility, I would love a large team of average people. At least I'll be able to help the majority of it.
Okay, nice. Would you rather make one big risky move or play safe but slow?
Risky move.
Risky move. Why?
Because the point is, you play it safe, it takes time, you're wasting your time. You take a risky move, either it's a win-win or you move on to the next risk that you want to take.
Okay. Would you rather work with a stubborn but high-paying client or a low-paying client who fully trusts you?
Okay. I will go with the one who trusts me more.
Okay. Obviously, there's a balance. Would you rather fix a company's sales problem or its leadership problem?
Both.
Both. Okay, but you have to pick one.
The problem in sales comes when it's the leadership problem.
So
because
you-
the leaders have to take care of sales because they are directly connected with the sales folks. If the sales is not working fine, the problem is in the leadership.
So you would pick leadership first.
Yes.
Okay. Would you rather sell a bad product with a great story or a great product with a bad marketing?
Great product with the bad marketing.
Yeah, that is something to fix.
Exactly, because I prefer in getting things delivered. A sale is not a sale for me until the end consumer is happy.
Yeah.
And for me, sales happen when I see that somebody is getting for what they're paying, even if they're paying additional for it, but
Yeah.
they're happy, I'm happy.
Nice. Would you rather close 10 small deals easily or one massive deal after months of effort?
You've actually done a good study in sales. Now see, closing 10 different deals is a different level of excitement that you have 10 different experiences, you get to know 10 different people, but they're small. Obviously your interest would be low because they're small, but when you think of it from that perspective that okay, you're building new relationships, the chances of maximizing gets more rather than just keep focusing on one big deal and then keep working hard on that. Even if that closes, what's the odds that you're going to maximize or upsell? Here you have 10 different opportunities. Make it small. I would prefer 10 small deals because
Okay.
you're opening doors. My theory, get the foot in the door, maximize it later.
That was all about our fun segment. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. And at last, I want Tushar to give some advice, a piece of advice to all the, our sales volunteers and the ones who are planning to build their career in sales. Apart from that, as a founder, what kind of advice you want to give?
Oh, well, honestly speaking, I don't want to gamify a lot. I prefer what worked for me. Whenever in chaos, don't go for advices. Sit in a room, introspect. A lot of people don't know the meaning of introspect. But when you introspect, you identify everything where what you are doing wrong. You are your best guide. You are your best mentor. And you know yourself best. Nobody can come and tell you just because they know what you've shown the version of yourself to them. So just introspect. You're your best friend.